I paid for my sister's entire nursing school, but she told everyone I was jealous of her success. Imagine paying $73,000 for someone else's education out of your own pocket, watching them graduate with honors, and then discovering they have been telling everyone you are jealous of their success. Now imagine finding out they have been saying you never helped them at all, and that everything they achieved was through their own hard work and determination. If that sounds like the kind of betrayal that would make your blood boil, stick around because what I did when I found out will leave you speechless. But first, if you have ever been stabbed in the back by someone you sacrificed everything for, hit that like button and make sure to subscribe because this story is going to take you on an emotional roller coaster that you will never forget. This whole nightmare started 3 years ago when my sister Emma called me crying. She had just gotten accepted into the nursing program at our state university, which was a huge accomplishment because it was incredibly competitive. Emma had always dreamed of being a nurse ever since we were kids, and I was genuinely proud of her for getting accepted. But then came the reality check. Emma had no money for school. None. She had been working part-time at a grocery store for 2 years trying to save up, but nursing school was expensive, and she had barely managed to save $5,000. The total cost for the 3-year program was going to be $78,000, including tuition, books, supplies, and living expenses. Emma was devastated. She had worked so hard to get accepted, and now it looked like she was not going to be able to afford it. She had already been rejected for several scholarships, and her credit was not good enough to qualify for private student loans. Federal aid would only cover about $15,000, leaving her more than $60,000 short. That was when she called me, sobbing so hard I could barely understand what she was saying. "I just got the letter about tuition costs," she said through her tears. "I cannot afford it. I am going to have to give up my spot in the program. Everything I have worked for is going to be for nothing." My heart broke for her. Emma and I had always been close growing up. She was 4 years younger than me, and I had always felt protective of her. When our parents divorced when she was in high school, I was the one who helped her with homework, drove her to activities, and supported her through the emotional mess that our family became. I had been lucky enough to land a good job right out of college in software development, and I had been living below my means and saving aggressively for several years. I had about $90,000 in savings that I had been planning to use as a down payment on a house. But Emma was my sister, and this was her dream. I could always buy a house later, but if Emma missed this opportunity to go to nursing school, she might never get another chance. So I made a decision that I thought was loving and generous. "Emma," I said, "what if I paid for your school?" She stopped crying immediately. "What do you mean?" "I mean, what if I paid your tuition and living expenses for nursing school? You can focus on studying and not worry about money." Emma was quiet for a long moment. "You would do that for me?" "Of course I would. You are my sister and this is your dream. I want to see you succeed." Emma started crying again, but this time there were tears of relief and gratitude. She thanked me over and over, promised she would pay me back as soon as she became a nurse and started earning money, and swore she would never forget what I was doing for her. I should have gotten that promise in writing. I should have set up a formal loan agreement, but Emma was family, and I trusted her completely. The next day I transferred $15,000 to Emma for her first semester tuition and expenses. Over the next 3 years, I continued to support her financially. Tuition payments, rent for her apartment, money for books and supplies, even spending money so she could focus on studying instead of working. Every few months, Emma would call me asking for more money. Her textbooks cost more than expected. She needed a laptop for school. Her rent went up. Her car needed repairs. I never said no. I wanted Emma to have everything she needed to succeed. By the time Emma graduated, I had given her a total of $73,000. Nearly all of my savings were gone. I was back to living paycheck to paycheck, and my dream of buying a house was indefinitely postponed. But I was proud of Emma. She had graduated with a 3.9 GPA and had already landed a job at a prestigious hospital. She was going to be making $65,000 a year as a new nurse, which was excellent money in our area. At Emma's graduation ceremony, I felt genuinely happy for her. All the money I had spent seemed worth it when I saw her walk across that stage in her cap and gown. She had achieved her dream, and I had helped make it possible. After the ceremony, Emma hugged me and thanked me for everything I had done for her. She promised that now that she had a job, she would start paying me back as soon as possible. She said she wanted to set up a payment plan and have everything paid back within 5 years. I believed her. Why would I not believe her? She was my sister, and I had just spent 3 years supporting her dream. Then something strange started happening. Emma kept finding reasons to postpone starting the repayment plan. First, she said she needed to save up for the security deposit on a new apartment closer to the hospital. Then she said she needed to buy professional clothes for work. Then she said she wanted to build up an emergency fund before she started making loan payments. 6 months went by, then a year, and Emma had not paid me back a single dollar. Every time I brought it up, she would get defensive and say she was still getting settled financially and needed more time. But Emma did not seem to be struggling financially. She had moved into a nice apartment in an expensive part of town. She was driving a brand new car. She was posting pictures on social media of expensive dinners, weekend trips, and shopping hauls. When I asked her about these expenses, Emma would say that she deserved to enjoy her success after working so hard in school. She said she had earned the right to live a little, and that I was being unreasonable for expecting her to live like a poor student forever. I started to feel like Emma was taking advantage of me, but I tried to give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she really was still adjusting to having a full-time income. Maybe she would start paying me back once she felt more financially secure. But then I found out something that changed everything. Do you know what it feels like to discover that someone you sacrificed everything for has been lying about you behind your back? Let me know in the comments, because what I found out about Emma made me question everything I thought I knew about my sister. It started when I ran into Emma's friend Jessica at the grocery store. Jessica had been Emma's study partner throughout nursing school, and I had met her several times when I visited Emma during school. Jessica seemed excited to see me and immediately started gushing about how proud she was of Emma for achieving so much on her own. She just worked so hard and sacrificed so much to get through school, Jessica said. I really admire her for doing it all by herself with no help from anyone. I was confused. What do you mean, no help from anyone? Jessica looked at me strangely. Well, you know how Emma always talks about how she paid her own way through school and worked multiple jobs to afford everything. She's always saying how proud she is that she did not have to rely on anyone else and that everything she achieved was through her own hard work. I felt like I had been punched in the stomach. Emma was telling people that she had paid for nursing school herself. She was taking credit for my $73,000 and acting like she had achieved everything on her own. But it gets worse. Jessica continued talking, apparently not noticing that I had gone pale. Emma was just telling us last week about how some people in her family are jealous of her success. She said her sister especially has been acting weird around her ever since she graduated, and she thinks it is because her sister cannot handle seeing her do well. I could not speak. Emma had not only erased my contribution to her success, she was actively painting me as the jealous sister who could not handle her achievements. She was making me the villain in a story where I was actually the hero. I managed to finish the conversation with Jessica without revealing how devastated I was, but as soon as I got to my car, I called Emma. Emma, I said when she picked up, I just ran into Jessica, and she told me something interesting. She said you have been telling people that you paid for nursing school yourself. There was a long pause. I do not know what you are talking about. She also said you told people that I am jealous of your success. Another pause. Look, Jessica probably misunderstood what I was saying. You know how people exaggerate things. Emma, did you tell people that you paid for nursing school yourself? I worked really hard in school, Emma said defensively. I earned my grades through my own effort. That is not what I asked you. Did you tell people that you paid for school yourself? I do not want to get into this right now, Emma said. I'm at work and I cannot have this conversation. She hung up on me. I sat in my car in the grocery store parking lot, feeling like my entire world had been turned upside down. For 3 years, I had sacrificed my own financial goals to support Emma's dream. I had given her nearly all of my savings, postponed buying a house, and lived paycheck to paycheck so that she could focus on school without worrying about money. And in return, Emma had not only refused to pay me back, she had erased my contribution entirely and was actively telling people that I was jealous of her success. I was not jealous of Emma's success. I was proud of her for becoming a nurse. What I was angry about was being betrayed and lied about by someone I had sacrificed everything for. That night I started doing some research. I called a few other people who knew Emma and casually asked about her nursing school experience. What I found out made me even more angry. Emma had been telling everyone the same story. She had worked multiple jobs to pay for school. She had sacrificed everything to achieve her dream. She had done it all on her own with no help from family. And she was frustrated that some people in her family, especially her sister, seemed jealous of her success and were acting strange around her. Emma had completely rewritten history. In her version of events, I did not exist as a supportive sister who had funded her education. Instead, I was the jealous family member who could not handle her success. But Emma had made one crucial mistake. She had been so busy taking credit for my money that she had forgotten that other people might remember the truth. You want to know what I did next? Trust me, Emma was not expecting it, and neither will you. I decided that if Emma wanted to claim she had paid for nursing school herself, then she should actually pay for it herself, all $73,000 of it. The next morning I called a lawyer and explained the situation. The lawyer told me that even though I did not have a formal loan agreement, I had documentation of all the money transfers to Emma, and I had text messages where Emma had acknowledged that the money was a loan and promised to pay it back. The lawyer said I could sue Emma for the full amount plus interest and legal fees. Since Emma was now making a good salary as a nurse, the court could garnish her wages if she refused to pay. But before I filed a lawsuit, I decided to give Emma one last chance to make things right. I called her and asked her to meet me for lunch. Emma agreed to meet, probably thinking she could smooth things over and convince me to drop the whole thing. At lunch, I laid out exactly what I knew. Emma, I said, I know that you have been telling people you paid for nursing school yourself. I know you have been saying that I am jealous of your success. I want to give you a chance to correct these lies and start paying me back before I take legal action. Emma's face went red. Legal action? You are threatening to sue me. I am not threatening anything. I am telling you what is going to happen if you do not start taking responsibility for your lies and your debt. Emma started getting loud. I cannot believe you are doing this to me. After everything we have been through as sisters, you are going to destroy our relationship over money. Emma, I said, staying calm, you have already destroyed our relationship by lying about me and refusing to pay back the money you owe me. I am just protecting myself at this point. Emma stood up from the table. Fine, she said, do whatever you want, but do not expect me to have anything to do with you after this. She stormed out of the restaurant, leaving me with the check. 2 days later, I filed a lawsuit against Emma for $73,000 plus interest and legal fees. Emma's response was to double down on her lies. She started telling everyone that I was suing her out of jealousy and spite. She said I was trying to destroy her career because I could not handle her success. She even posted on social media about how some family members will try to tear you down when you start doing well in life. But Emma had forgotten something important. The truth has a way of coming out, especially when there are legal documents involved. During the discovery phase of the lawsuit, I had to provide documentation of all the money I had given Emma. Bank records, text messages, emails, everything. Emma's lawyer tried to argue that the money had been gifts, not loans, but the text messages clearly showed Emma acknowledging the debt and promising to pay it back. More importantly, other people started coming forward with information that contradicted Emma's story. Emma's roommate from nursing school remembered me visiting and paying for things. Classmates remembered Emma talking about how her sister was helping her financially. Even some professors remembered Emma mentioning that her family was supporting her through school. Emma's web of lies started to unravel quickly. The most damaging evidence came from Emma herself. During her deposition, Emma's lawyer asked her to explain how she had afforded nursing school if she had really paid for everything herself. Emma claimed she had worked multiple jobs and saved up money over several years. When my lawyer asked Emma to provide documentation of these jobs and savings, Emma could not produce anything. She could not show pay stubs from the multiple jobs she claimed to have worked. She could not show bank records of the savings she claimed to have accumulated. She could not explain how she had managed to save $73,000 while working part-time at a grocery store that paid minimum wage. The math simply did not add up, and Emma's lies became obvious to everyone involved in the case. The judge was not impressed with Emma's defense. During the final hearing, she pointed out that Emma had clearly received substantial financial support from me, had acknowledged it as a loan in writing, and had promised to pay it back. The judge also noted that Emma was now making a good salary as a nurse and had the ability to repay the debt. Emma was ordered to pay me back the full $73,000 plus interest and court costs. The total judgment came to almost $85,000. The judge also ordered that if Emma did not start making payments immediately, her wages would be garnished directly from her paycheck. Emma was devastated. She had thought she could lie her way out of paying me back, but instead she now owed me even more money than before. But the financial judgment was only the beginning of Emma's problems. Word about the lawsuit spread quickly through Emma's social circle and workplace. People who had heard Emma's lies about paying for school herself and having a jealous sister suddenly learned the truth. They found out that not only had Emma not paid for her own education, but she had also been lying about and slandering the sister who had actually funded her entire nursing career. Emma's reputation took a serious hit. Her coworkers started looking at her differently. Friends began to question other things Emma had told them. Emma had built her entire identity around being a self-made success story, and now everyone knew it was all based on lies. Emma also discovered that there were professional consequences to her dishonesty. The nursing board takes character and integrity very seriously, and several of Emma's colleagues reported her lies to the board for review. While Emma did not lose her nursing license, she did receive a formal reprimand that became part of her permanent record. Emma's personal life also fell apart. She had been dating a doctor at the hospital where she worked, and when he found out about the lawsuit and Emma's lies, he broke up with her. He said he could not be in a relationship with someone who would lie so extensively about something so important. Emma tried to do damage control by claiming that the lawsuit was frivolous and that I was just trying to hurt her out of jealousy. But too many people now knew the truth, and Emma's credibility was completely destroyed. 6 months after the judgment, Emma called me crying. She said she was sorry for everything she had done and asked if there was any way we could work out a settlement for less than the full amount she owed me. I told Emma that I was willing to consider a settlement, but only if she publicly corrected the lies she had told about me and acknowledged that I had paid for her nursing education. Emma agreed. She posted a public apology on social media, admitting that I had funded her entire nursing education and that she had been wrong to claim credit for my financial support. She also apologized for saying that I was jealous of her success and acknowledged that I had been nothing but supportive of her career. The post was humiliating for Emma, but it was necessary. She had spent months damaging my reputation with her lies, and I needed her to set the record straight publicly. After Emma posted the apology, we worked out a settlement agreement. Instead of paying me the full $85,000, Emma agreed to pay me $60,000 over 5 years with interest. She also agreed to make the payments automatically through payroll deduction, so I would not have to chase her for money every month. Emma has been consistent with the payments so far. It has been 8 months since the settlement, and she has not missed a payment. She also has not spoken to me outside of the legally required communications about the debt. I am sad that our relationship was destroyed, but I do not regret standing up for myself. Emma made a choice to lie about me and steal credit for my sacrifices. She chose her own reputation over our family relationship, and she has to live with the consequences of that choice. Looking back, I learned some important lessons from this experience. First, I learned that even family members can betray you in ways you never imagined. I never would have believed that Emma could be so dishonest and manipulative if I had not experienced it myself. Second, I learned the importance of protecting yourself legally, even with family. If I had set up a formal loan agreement from the beginning, the whole situation would have been much easier to resolve. Third, I learned that some people will take advantage of your generosity and then resent you for it. Emma did not just refuse to pay me back. She actively turned me into the villain in her story. Some people cannot handle being in debt to someone else, so they rewrite history to make themselves the victim. But most importantly, I learned that standing up for yourself is worth it, even when it costs you relationships. I could have let Emma get away with her lies and never get my money back, but that would have sent the message that it was okay to treat me that way. Emma learned that actions have consequences. She thought she could lie her way out of her responsibilities, but instead her lies cost her much more than just money. She lost friendships, damaged her professional reputation, and destroyed our family relationship. If you are dealing with someone who is taking advantage of your generosity and then lying about you, I want you to know that it is okay to protect yourself. It is okay to demand accountability, and it is okay to end relationships with people who betray your trust, even if they are family. Generosity should be appreciated, not exploited. And if someone repays your kindness with lies and betrayal, they do not deserve to have you in their life. What do you think about this situation? Did Emma get what she deserved, or did I go too far by suing my own sister? Let me know in the comments below, and do not forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more stories about family betrayal and how to handle people who take advantage of your kindness. And if you have ever been in a situation where someone took credit for your help or support, I would love to hear your story. Sometimes the people we help the most are the ones who hurt us the worst, but that does not mean we should stop being generous. It just means we need to be smarter about who we trust and how we protect ourselves. Remember, being kind does not mean being a doormat. You can be generous and supportive while still maintaining boundaries and expecting basic respect and honesty in return. Until next time, protect your generosity and do not let anyone convince you that you are wrong for expecting people to honor their commitments, and tell the truth about your contributions to their success.